Well, happy to be joined by a guest who clearly knows onions in terms of Africa trade reform. That is her slogan. We're happy to be joined by none other than Olori Boye Ajayi, an international trade consultant and staunch advocate for the development and empowerment of the African woman. Good morning, madam. Welcome to the program.
Having me today.
Good morning. Now, thank you for joining us on the program today. And let's talk about how you have been able to help startups navigate during this tough post-COVID-19 times. It's not been easy for a lot of business owners. How have you been able to help?
Well, what we've had to do as a gender and trade advocacy network is to help women to look at the opportunities that the pandemic has actually brought to the table. And as a small business owner, we've explained to them practical steps, such as ensuring that, they concentrate on the best profit opportunities that they have. So you have to look at your products and services again. Which ones are the cash cows? Which ones do you not need anymore? Which services could you let go of and really just focus on the ones that bring in the money? And then we told them to scrutinize every cost, renegotiate your contract, your suppliers, refinance your debt for those who've taken out loans. So we've had to really give them even the mental state of, just losing out on so much business can also be very psychologically traumatic. And we've just had to provide a holistic approach to women and some men in some cases through webinars and all of that. And then, of course, the final thing is for them to digitize their businesses as much as possible, develop a digital footprint for what is coming, because we don't know how long this pandemic is going to be for.
All right, Olori Ajayi Boye. Now, your organization, to describe them in 3 words, is Africa Trade Reform. Now, based on that, what are the things every entrepreneur or startup should avoid, especially this post-COVID-19?
One of the things I would say is try not to focus too much on the damage, because you have to control what has happened. You have to be a leader and be resilient. You have to fight, because once the leader is very resilient, everything else will be like an opportunity. So the first thing I would say is you as the business owner, you have to change your mindset from loss to opportunity, from threat to opportunity. So the second thing I would say is for you to now assess your current portfolio. Your business portfolio, you must assess what is working, what cannot be accommodated due to the pandemic and its new what it's brought to us. But, as a final thing, I would say you have to develop new business practices. So, for example, remote working is actually one of the things that I feel a lot of people have not yet embraced as much as they should. And they have to, because we still are experiencing this pandemic. New variants are out every other day. So we still see that people have to develop new ways of working.
All right. Yes, Olori Ajayi, thank you very much for coming on the program. Yes, international advocate and trade consultant. Thank you very much for your time on Breakfast Central.
Right now, as businesses continue to adopt what is termed the new normal, the current global reality comprises a complex societal environment filled with challenges that encompasses all aspects of life and new ways of doing business. Now, this obviously is due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has sparked unequal business stability and threat to the existence of individual startups and entrepreneurs.
Well, it is not just enough to focus on growth or handling competition. Now you really have to focus on survival and adaptation. But our next guest right here on Breakfast Central is Inia Lawal, an entrepreneur, world changer, founder of 2 non-profit organizations, also a Fortune Most Powerful Women's Alumni, and lead program partner to the U.S. Consulate in Lagos, Nigeria. Inia, good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Central. All right. While we wait to have her online, that is quite an interesting discussion. We can't really wait to get our teeth into survival and adaptation of businesses
in Nigeria, especially with the pandemic. Now, prior to even the pandemic, when we were looking at startups in Nigeria, startups find it really difficult. Some people call it the harsh environmental conditions around the country in Nigeria. And if you're looking at financial reports that has come out to talk about the number of MSMEs, these are the micro, small, medium businesses, the enterprises that we have in Nigeria. Over 80% of them who start up usually fail within the first 5 to 10 years of business.
All right. And how has the situation been? Let's bring on Ilia Lawal. Ilia Lawal, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central. Right.
Right.
Okay, you were talking about the percentage of how this...
Startups, a lot of startups.
Yeah.
This is prior to COVID. Now, I mean, we're talking about the environmental condition that has been quite unfriendly for some people, as they put it in their terms, for a lot of businesses to start up and kick up and even balance well in the economy. But I think we have our guest right now. Is she with us here?
Well, the big question is how do people recover? Because it's not everyone that businesses are built to adapt to the situation. Let's keep it, the pandemic has been about more than a year now.
More than a year.
We're still experiencing it, and instead of the pandemic going, there is talk about new variants.
Almost on a quarterly basis, where we keep hearing of how we need to adopt and adapt to this variant and ensure that we're all vaccinated. But really, a lot of business owners that I know have had to find different ways to fine-tune their business to this new culture of the pandemic. I mean, for a lot of businesses, they have moved from physical stores to having online businesses. A lot of the online businesses are trying to create more content on different social media platforms to engage the audience. Because I know, call it a blessing or a curse, during the pandemic, a few number of businesses made millions of money during the pandemic.
Those businesses are perhaps quite remote and require lots of technology. You talk about the likes of the big tech businesses, the Amazons, the Googles. If you look at what the business people are talking about, their profits, they release their results. These people have made 21 times profit well over in a year.
Right, exactly. I mean, even in Nigeria here, the food business thrived so well during the pandemic. A particular brand was almost like a national anthem during the NSAS protest. Some other food brands were also well known, even when we're told to sit at home during the lockdown, when the lockdown was quite intensive. So while some other businesses have failed or have suffered so well, some other businesses have thrived and today can count money in their account. They can write in black ink as against red ink.
Well, businesses that we have seen that thriving, perhaps we look at the ones of delivery.